what's the general sense industry-wide from your end of the, I guess, engagement farming business of JJ Redick's hire, Sam?
Well played.
Thank you, sir.
I just love that. I like JJ, but man, the second you're on the other side, now we're taking shots. Yeah, JJ did pretty well in engagement farming. He was very good at the media thing, and he showed that he's very good at kind of presenting himself the way he did in his press conference. I thought by and large that was a successful look for him on day one. I actually just got off the phone with a colleague from LA. We were debating some of the nuance around his press conference, and a little bit, I think, kind of split parties on the "I don't give an F" line that some thought was awesome and some thought was a little, just a little much. But he sat there with Rob, clearly making a choice for him and also organizationally to really give time to the media and to the fans. That was a 45-minute press conference where Rob at one point turns to Lakers PR man Mitch Heckert and says, are there any more questions from people that haven't gotten a chance to ask? We all know you came a long way. As you know, Rich, these are not the kind of niceties that happen at most press conferences. So you could tell, not to be cynical, that like they were attempting to sell this to a certain degree. And that obviously makes sense. From here, a lot of questions, I think, to be answered. First and foremost, what is JJ's staff going to look like? For them to highlight the desire to have multiple former head coaches on staff, I thought was a little risky if they don't already have commitments from those types of guys. So that's one thing, is that if you paint one picture saying, oh, we think this will work so long as his staff looks like this, and then the staff ultimately looks different, the optics on that might not be great. And then from there, JJ made it really clear that he's diving all in on all aspects of their roster building, because he's not going to coach in the California Classic, Summer League, in Sacramento, because he'll be entrenched in free agency. This team is going to be built, I think, in large part through his vision. And that is what they should do if they're going to commit to a guy like JJ, who they hope is going to be there for a long time.
And his vision is what? What's his vision?
Well, I mean, some of the specifics he did get into, and I think there's a lot of merit. The number one thing is Anthony Davis, and it'll be interesting to see if AD's skill set can, really keep up with this. But AD as a hub, AD as a, in this day and age of Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka I know is a wing, but he's such a big guy. These bigs who are the hubs of their offense, and so he wanting to run more through AD and not treat him like they often do as a more traditional post-up player that you throw the ball down to. That is a pretty significant development. LeBron led the team in usage rate last year, and as great as he was, he's coming up on his 40th birthday. I think it's probably wise to try to go this direction. LeBron's three-point shooting is something that, if it continues, empowers JJ to do something like that, because you can play him off the ball more and utilize the shooting that remarkably has gotten better at this late stage of his career, a lot better. From there, what gets my attention, this goes back to the, I think the divided camps when it comes to the trade landscape, is that Austin Reaves suddenly feels like his internal value and his place within their program has been elevated through the JJ Redick hire. I think Rob was already big on Austin. I think Jeannie Buss is big on Austin. And I think now JJ is talking about, Austin as another ball handler and a guy who is going to be prominent. That's the one where, trade-wise, if you want to go get one of these high-profile people, you're going to have to give up Austin Reaves. And so I think there's a debate within this entire group about, what Austin's ceiling is and whether it's best to continue growing with him and see where that takes you, or, try one of these other names that you might be able to land.
Yeah, he could be the guy that they're looking for. He's right in front of him, right? He's right in front of him, as opposed to sending him out for a guy that has already established himself as with that ceiling. That is a fascinating development. Who's out there? Not just for the Lakers, but obviously Bridges was available for the first Nick Nett trade since 1983 to go down. Who's out there as we hit the draft tonight and free agency this weekend, Sam?
The Hawks are front and center. Obviously, folks are really in the dark about what they're going to do with the number 1 pick. And then within that, you've got the Trae Young, DeJounte Murray situation. It does feel like the Lakers have come off the Trae Young possibility, and that DeJounte is front and center as a person that I think they are looking at. But again, they know, because they talked to Atlanta about DeJounte in February, that they've got to give up Austin in that deal. And again, as of yesterday, my understanding was they didn't want to do that. So DeJounte comes to mind, and I think it's fair to also highlight. It's not. I keep intentionally not using the word star player, because it's not. This is not like before when LeBron and AD were trying to go after a Kyrie or a DeMar DeRozan or a Damian Lillard and all these different stars. And the Westbrook thing obviously was a disaster. This is more, you could be talking about Jeremy Grant in Portland, two-way players with length. Apologies, the dog is chiming in.
No worries. I love it.
And Jeremy Grant comes to mind. Donovan Mitchell is, I think, the dream target, but it's just all indications are that he's going to sign that extension in Cleveland. And that, I think, created an issue for the Lakers, because I do think that there was an agreement that if you could get Donovan Mitchell, then LeBron and AD are the only untouchables. But that's just doesn't seem likely. And so from there, it became untouchables when you're talking about names like Grant, like Murray. I mean, Murray's the one that I think is, again, I'm repeating myself, but front and center on the idea of what should the Lakers be willing to put on the table for him. I think that's where there's some different views.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.